So when it comes to anime I love, I often overanalyze them to an extreme point. Look no further than My Hero Academia. The amount of videos I have on the show, along with the countless ideas I have planned for the future, should speak to how incredibly obsessed I am with this show. And this is far from the first time I've been completely obsessed with a show. There's another lesser known show that you may or may not have heard of. I am obsessed with One Punch Man and have done some serious research on the show. I wasn't making videos when the show aired, but I could assure you that if I had the ability to, I would have. So as I watched My Hero Academia, something kept nagging me. Something in the back of my mind. An idea for a potential
Hey, whoa man, you can't say that word.
Wait, what?
Theory is my word, and no one else is allowed to use it at all.
Oh, but we just collaborated and did a theory on your channel, Duo.
Yeah, but that's because it was on my channel. You should just make some title that pisses people off like usual.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess that's where my talents lie anyway. Well, what if we call it a concept?
Fine, I guess it'll work, but only if I'm here to present it as well.
That works for me. So my concept is that the universe of My Hero Academia and One Punch Man are actually connected. Let me elaborate. So one thing I'd like to bring up is just how rare superhero anime actually are. Although there are a few lying around, the numbers are abysmal in comparison to something along the lines of isekai, ecchi, and so on. So the idea of the two most popular hero anime sharing a universe isn't something so far-fetched. Not to mention, in the superhero comic book industry, this stuff is incredibly common, which, may I say, both shows pull from heavily.
So, interesting points, Manime, but I feel there's a major flaw in your thinking. In both My Hero Academia and One Punch Man, we're introduced to how the hero system works. In Macadamia, you need to earn your license to use your quirk and then join one of the many private hero organizations which receive their funding from the government based on their effectiveness. In One Punch Man, it's a single privatized agency funded by donations rather than the government. And you can't pull the BS about how they may live in separate countries because they both show they live in Japan.
You're not wrong, Duo. Both characters are clearly from Japan and work in Japan. So not bumping into a single cast member would be almost impossible for each show, as both characters are considered to be some of the strongest heroes in the world. But my point is this: they are not living in separate locations, but rather they're separated by time. My concept is that My Hero Academia is actually a precursor to One Punch Man, and that the insane powers that Saitama has are nothing other than a latter version of One for All.
Okay, I think I can see where this is going. It actually does make sense. In the My Hero Academia world, the timeline is set in stone, with it being about 300 to 400 years in the future, roughly, whereas the timeline for One Punch Man is never made clear. All we know is that it takes place sometime in the very distant future, as the types of technology we see are extremely complex in the show. Another thing that's worthy of noting is the names of the cities. In My Hero Academia, most of the cities maintain their real-life names, whereas in One Punch Man, all of the cities are labeled A to Z, inferring that either the names have all been lost or something potentially much worse.
You're on the right path, Duo. I think it's fair to say that One Punch Man is technically living in a post-apocalyptic world that is slowly trying to recover from some major event. My guess being perhaps an insane showdown between One for All and All for One that ended up creating this insane world that they live in now.
Or potentially it could be the fact that after hundreds of years of people not being allowed to use their quirks without some sort of difficult to obtain license, they rebelled, leading to the unique city system we see now, along with the reason why the wild monsters seem to appear out of nowhere. They're just humans with quirks like most of the cast.
Exactly, for the most part, excluding the alien bits.
So far so good, but now I'm interested, Matt. You made quite the bold statement earlier saying that Saitama is the current One for All user. How so?
Good question, Duo. So, as I stated earlier, One Punch Man comes after My Hero Academia. And in My Hero Academia, we learn that each time the quirk is passed down, it gets stronger. In this show, we find out that Midoriya is the 9th user of the ability One for All, and we see just how ridiculously powerful he is. Now imagine that, but over potentially hundreds of generations. As for how Saitama inherits One for All, that's easy. Look no further than the origin story in episode 1. In this episode, Saitama inexplicably helps a kid and rushes in before he knew what his body was doing. Sound familiar? Saitama is, at this moment, a true hero. After this, Saitama spends 3 whole years training his heart out until one day, seemingly unexplicably, he becomes the world's strongest hero. My guess is that someone was watching, looking for a noble person to pass off the one-for-all quirk to. Someone who has the traits that they look for in true heroes. Someone like Deku.
Yeah, and then they have to sneak a hair or something into one of Saitama's cups of coffee, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that was inferred, Duo. I was just trying to make it not sound creepy.
Another key thing to note is the release of the first volumes of manga. I should mention that One Punch Man was a web series long before the manga debut, but that doesn't change my argument. One Punch Man's manga debut was in 2009, while My Hero Academia's manga debut was in 2014, giving Horikoshi 5 years to come up with his way to merge the two universes. As a matter of fact, the writer for One Punch Man is actually still unknown, only going by the name One. Who knows, maybe Horikoshi is One.
Or Horikoshi was heavily inspired by the webcomic and manga and decided to build his show into the same universe.
Come on, Matt, there's a way better theory and you know it.
Yeah, but I think that one may be a little bit too far-fetched for my taste. If you want a concept that's a little more grounded in science, Duo and I did a collab on his channel last week.
Yeah, we made a pretty cool theory discussing Bakugo's explosion quirk and how potentially dangerous it could actually be. We go into some pretty crazy science stuff and it's a lot of fun, so you should go check it out on my channel. I do theories, mostly anime theories obviously, and hey, they're all pretty fun, so why not go give them a shot?
His channel is quite awesome, so go check him out and give him a sub. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys stay, man, go watch that goddamn anime!